everyone. This is KCTV5 Samantha Boring. We are taking a live look currently over in Gladstone of some breaking news we've been following for about an hour now. This is off of Northeast 74th Terrace and North Main Street. We're going to be providing you with an update on this breaking news that we have been following, like I said, for the last hour out of Gladstone. Currently, the Kansas City Fire Department is on scene, as well as Gladstone Police. So let's take a live look once again back at the scene. We do have a crew there right now. You can see the smoke still smoldering from that home. Seeing some of the videos so far, there are some walls still up on that home. It appears to be an apparent house explosion, and that's what we're told from what we are seeing so far from police. So around 11:20 this morning, residents of that Gladstone neighborhood near Northeast 74th Terrace and North Main Street heard a large explosion. We've seen many comments online and people talking about the massive smoke in the air that they could see from just a few miles away. But of course, up close, seeing this fire still there smoldering at this home. Now, what we do know is Gladstone Police Department and KCFD are still on scene. It's still too early to tell if there are any injuries or fatalities. Gladstone Police did tell us that some of the homes nearby did have damage as well from this explosion. Something we also want to point out in this situation is Evergy, their outage map is showing about 87 customers nearby are currently without power. We need to pull that back up and see if that's still accurate at this time. But just the capability of these explosions can really do so much to a neighborhood. We just saw this recently within the last month or two over in Lexington, Missouri, a similar house explosion, and that one rocked that neighborhood as well. All right, so taking a look at the Evergy outage map on my computer, looks like 76 customers are still affected by that explosion. It says the cause is unidentified, but a crew has been assigned to that situation. Taking a look at some of the photos, we can just see so much rubble all over this house from this house. We even saw in one of the pictures that there's just rubble all over a car, and as fire crews continue to respond to this area. Now, this Gladstone ambulance that you can see there on your screen on the right side, that's in that blue, it actually just pulled up, and we did see them go over with a stretcher, but we have not seen anything so far. But really, they're just trying to get that fire completely out. Unfortunately, in these kinds of situations, it can take crews quite some time to get it completely out, as with this being a home and a lot of stuff, it catches easily, of course, and then trying to make sure that no one's inside as well. Now, looking around at some of the other people that we've talked to, we have crews that have been in that neighborhood, people who have talked to us that live in that neighborhood currently. Some say they heard a loud boom when this happened earlier this morning or late or early this afternoon. And then some people could also see not only smoke but debris flying up from this explosion. Now, again, this is off Northeast 74th Terrace in North Main. Crews still on scene. It's most likely going to be some time. Unfortunately, with these situations, it can take fire crews as well as investigators days to try and figure out what exactly happened. But we're going to continue following this story, bringing you the latest updates. Of course, we have that right now on our streaming, but also right now on KCTV5.com of the latest information we have. Really, it's minimal information because it's so early in this investigation and in this situation. But we're going to continue following it as much as we can this afternoon and bring you what we know. All right, so taking a look at some of the comments here on our Facebook live stream, someone asked, was anybody home? Now, we did ask Gladstone Police. Let me make sure I have this information correct. From Gladstone Police, they said that they do not know if anyone was home, and their main priority right now is trying to get this fire out. But of course, we do see them looking in that rubble while they're putting this fire out with all of their crews out there. But it can take a lot of time to get through all of that with how much there is. You can see even in that power line, some of that, I don't even know what that is, but it looks like some siding possibly from the housing from the house that's just hanging off of that power line. Looks like someone also said it was dropping ash on North Oak. We did hear that from some other people, that there was debris flying in the air. You can see obviously it being in that power line there, as well as throughout the yard and on the car that's over there. A lot of people there watching by, just wondering what exactly will come from this. Now again, this is off of North 74th Terrace and North Main Street. Now, we did do some research when it came to the 811 calls. Now, we don't know if this is fully related to a dig or anything like that. It's too early to tell, but we do know that there was a call made about this explosion around, let me make sure I have the time right, 12 this afternoon, 12:12. They did call in and for that to 811 because, and we did see 811 crews are on scene. They're usually a vital piece when it comes to digging in an area that has gas lines. It's someone we've talked to when there have been prior house explosions. But it does look like they're on the scene helping address the situation, doing what they can. Let me take a look at some of the other witness reports from one of the comments. Now, I know we did interview some witnesses, but I am not able to put that on the screen here since that's just here on my laptop from one of our crew members who actually just lives nearby there. But from what we got earlier this afternoon, some people are just sharing that they heard that loud boom, they saw the debris in the air, they see the smoke from quite far away, and seeing it throughout town, it's just making a huge black cloud within the air. Really, a lot of people just wanting to know what exactly happened. And like I said earlier, that's unfortunately something that just takes some time. Now, what we're also learning is the Gladstone city manager says they haven't had any reports of serious injuries, but that is a preliminary investigation. And of course, they're still going through the actual house, so it's going to take some time before they find that out. He did say the ATF will be involved in this investigation, and it looks like we're going to be getting a press release here in a little bit. We have seen the ATF involved in some of these house explosions before. Let me pull that information up. So the ATF, for those who don't know, is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives through the government. They recently were on scene for the explosion over in Lexington, Missouri. Now, in that house explosion, that was confirmed to be a gas explosion, from what we learned, and that one did unfortunately take the life of a little boy. But they are still in the early investigation as well in that situation. And I believe, let me find this. OSHA was also investigating that, but that was having to do with the contractors that were on scene. That's another big piece to this story, and what we're going to try and find out today is, was someone digging in the area? Could it have been something else? That is usually the biggest concern, is making sure the other homes are also safe, and that's usually why 811 is called out. That's why OSHA was on scene for the Lexington one. They had to investigate some companies that were involved in a gas main line that was hit in that situation. But now in this situation, we still are not for sure what exactly happened this afternoon when the call came in around 11:20. But hopefully we'll begin to learn more once we get that press release here in a little bit. We also know something I haven't mentioned so far. This is, like I said, it's near Northeast 74th Terrace and North Main Street. There are some roads that are blocked off, as it makes it easier for crews to get in and out with this situation. So if you do live in that area, it's in the Gladstone area. It is something you'll want to be aware of if you are heading home or know some people in the area. It's just something to be cautious of when getting in and out of your home, because crews are most likely going to be on scene most of the day, if not into the night. These situations can take quite some time to get cleaned up as well as get completely out. So we will be following that for a while. Just taking a look at some of the photos, just really shocking photos here. You can just see the photos that we got sent into our newsroom from one of our coworkers that we actually do have on our website right now with this story. Just some siding melting off of that home, and just wood and all sorts of home materials as well as belongings, and falling onto this car that was right there and just scattered throughout this yard. Just a devastating scene that we're seeing here out of Gladstone this afternoon. And really that plume of smoke just filling the air throughout town. People could see it from all sorts of shopping centers, streets. It was seen from quite far away. For those of us just joining us now, we are following the latest. It's breaking news out of Gladstone, Missouri this afternoon off of Northeast 74th Terrace and North Main Street. We have talked with Gladstone police briefly. It's going to take them a while to really give us more answers, but what they told us so far, this was a home explosion around 11:20 this morning. They do not know if anyone was home. They are trying to get the fire out actively, as you can see from our live picture with our team that's on scene right now. We do know a few homes in the area were damaged due to this explosion, and that's something we have seen in other explosions that have happened throughout our coverage area. When these blasts happen and they're just so abrupt, they can really knock out windows. They can cause siding to come off if it's loose. We've even seen roof shingles fall off the top of people's roofs from just the impact that these explosions can really bring. Now you can see just what an impact this was from our live shot there. There is just a piece of debris hanging off the power line. And we do know that Evergy customers are still affected in this area. It's still looking like 76 customers are without power currently. Evergy still has that cause as unidentified. Here we are getting a closer look of that home. Just barely any walls still up. The windows gone. You can see the squares that are there, but square and rectangle that are there, but really not much left of this home. Just a really, really tragic situation. The crews on scene include KCFD, Gladstone Fire, Gladstone Police, and Missouri 811. For those of you who do not know what Missouri 811 is, it's actually a nonprofit that works whenever there is digging. So if you get fiber in your neighborhood, if you get other new lines put in your neighborhood, you're always supposed to call Missouri 811 before you dig. If you want to put something in your yard and dig, you should call them first. Now, when this explosion happened, there was a call made to Missouri 811. We were looking through their ticketing system. It does say in there that call came in around 12:12, so just about a little over a half an hour after this call came in from police. And it looks like it was an emergency ticket, so that is why 811 is there on the scene currently. Now, what they just said in that ticket, and all we really know from that, is that there was an explosion at this address. They needed to be checked out. Usually in these situations, they want to make sure that there wasn't anything that was hit, because we've seen in the past with explosions, gas lines be hit, and that's what can cause, unfortunately, these situations. And that is the really unfortunate thing a lot of people are sharing right now with us, hoping no one was home. We do not know that as a fact right now. We do not know if they were or were not. We don't know how many people lived there. That's something we're still trying to determine. And that's something these crews are still trying to determine on scene. You can just see the water spraying over that smoldering smoke. And it's going to take them some time to either find if anyone was in there or determine possibly if they weren't. And just really difficult for this neighborhood too. We could see so many people watching from the side, just wanting to see more. What exactly happened here? Now, some new information we got to our newsroom about 10 minutes ago. The Gladstone city manager has told us that they have not had any reports of serious injuries, but that is very early in this investigation, in this incident. He did say that the ATF is going to be involved in this investigation, which is a common practice in explosions for homes. And they are hopefully going to be releasing a press release here in a bit. We don't know exactly how soon, but we're hoping that can give us some more information that we can share with you all. This street, we just got a question into this. This was off of Northeast 74th Terrace and North Main Street in Gladstone, Missouri. Residents and people within the neighborhood, as well as people further from the neighborhood, said they heard a large explosion. Smoke is still seen from the home. We can see that here in our live picture. They're still trying to put that out. And something I mentioned earlier, it can take crews a few hours, if not longer than that, to put out these fires, because when a house explodes, there's so much in there it's not just a house. It's got your belongings. It's got things that you care about. And those things can unfortunately stay on fire for quite some time, sadly. And that is the biggest priority right now, is putting this fire out for KCFD as well as Gladstone Fire. And you can see those crews are out there. We just saw some water there spraying on the home, but want to make sure it's fully out. And we still know that Evergy is still evaluating. It looks like their estimated restoration for that power, it just says they're evaluating the situation. So we don't really have a determination for people who are without power in this area of when that will come back on. And that could be some time. All right, for those just joining us again, we're going to just go through the information that we have so far one more time, because this is some breaking news that we are following in Gladstone. And again, my name is Samantha Boring. I'm the investigative reporter here at KCTV5, still working weekends too as well, but we wanted to make sure that you had the latest information on this just awful situation. Really such a tragedy here in Gladstone, what we're seeing from this live video, from the pictures we're seeing, from the witness reports. Just, it's not going to be easy for this community to come back. I mean, this is just devastating what we're seeing. A population of about 27,000 over in Gladstone, just really thinking of them right now. So let's go back to this live picture here in Gladstone. We do have a crew on scene. We're going to have more crews on scene later into the day. This is off of Northeast 74th Terrace and North Main Street. So here's what we know. Around 11:20 this morning, residents of the neighborhood heard a large explosion. This wasn't just residents. Other people driving by, they also said that they heard it as well. Now, KCFD and Gladstone Fire are on scene trying to put this fire out. They say that's the biggest priority right now, is just to get it to stop smoldering. I mean, that smoke, that's going to take some time for these crews to get that put out. There's currently no word on injuries or fatalities. Gladstone police says it's just, they're not able to confirm that right now. It's really too early in this situation for us to know what exactly is going on within that home. We do know that a few houses nearby were damaged due to this explosion. That's unfortunately something very common with these, because the impact can be so large. We do not know if anyone was inside of this home as well. We're still waiting to learn if there were injuries, if they were home, how many people lived there. That's something that we do not have confirmed from any of the authorities. Now, another big piece to this, there is an Evergy outage in this area for 76 customers that started at about 11:14 this morning. Looks like our fire crews are going a little closer into this home right now. We haven't seen them that close to the rubble so far. Let's take a look here and see what they're doing. Could possibly just be trying to move the rubble to try and put this fire out. We don't obviously know, since I'm not there physically, but our crew is there seeing what's exactly happening. But it's a lot of debris to go through for these crews and trying to get that fire out. And of course, things can burn so easily. It's not easy for them. Some new information that we just recently got. Oh, it looks like they're actually bringing in the fire hose, just trying to probably reach it into a further part of this home, since we have been seeing it smolder this entire time we've been on the air here with you all. Some new information I just wanted to mention that we got in about almost 30 minutes ago from the Gladstone city manager. Ryan Hennessy has been speaking with him. Now, they have not had any reports of serious injuries. He said the ATF will be involved in this investigation. That is something very common when we see these kinds of house explosions and explosions in general. They are a government entity that usually looks into alcohol, tobacco, explosives, firearms, all those things. That's really their realm. And so they are going to be most likely involved in this investigation. I'm sure we will see the fire marshal involved. And it looks like the city manager said that they are going to be releasing a press release. Now, there's also some questions on here about digging. Were they digging in the area? That's another thing we also need to confirm. But what we do know is Missouri 811, call before you dig. If you haven't heard of it, it's something that is, they're actually a nonprofit within the state. And they are the ones that are the standardized call that you call whenever you want to dig, say put a tree in your yard, or if there's people laying fiber in your yard, any of those situations, they are going to be the ones that you call. They are on scene as well. We do know that around 12:12 this afternoon, they were called for an emergency call for this house explosion. It doesn't say exactly what happened. That's all the ticket information is giving us, but we do know that they are on scene. All right, we're going to wrap this up here, but we're going to leave this live picture up for you all for just a little bit as we continue to try and learn more information. But make sure to stay tuned with us both on air as well as online on our website. We're going to have the most up-to-date information through our website, kctv5.com. Our digital team, Zoe, is working very hard on making sure we have the most accurate information for you all.